What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have another episode of The Rundown with a few special guests. We have Larry98. So full disclosure, Antalev is on vacation. So hopefully you're enjoying and not watching this Antalev. Hopefully you're enjoying some time away, some holiday from doing spreadsheets and from all things Mario Kart Tour. But we do have Larry98 graciously stepping in as our data guru, as he does a lot of what you see on the rundown when you see the little Larry98s with the FU little logo there. You can check out a lot of this information on Larry98's Larry Sheets. Definitely check those out. And we also have another guest. We have Napp. Napp won our Member Multiplayer Monday contest, and one of the big prizes for winning is you get to join. You can pick between one of three options, including, this is the only way that you can win this award or win this prize, which is to join me on the rundown. So congratulations, Napp, and welcome, Larry98. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, doing good. I'm excited for the new tour, and yeah, let's see.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here. Honored to be a guest on the rundown, as always.
Yeah, Napp, you've been watching for quite a while. I think you were mentioning. Kind of what's your been your experience playing the game, and where you're calling from, and tell the community just a little bit about yourself just before we get started.
I'm actually a day one player. I've been playing this game since it came out in 2019. Every single day I've been playing this game. I'm not American, actually. I live in the Dominican Republic, so I'll excuse any of you watching at home if my English is sometimes pretty wonky, but that's just a given for me. I've been a fan of the rundown specifically. I've been watching it ever since the wedding tour back in June of 2021 when Mario Tuxedo debuted. I'm sure Studfit remembers those days when he used to host the show with Tabor.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been watching the show. Always love the analytical take, looking at the boss versus the items and the top 10s and everything, and discussing the value of the different items throughout the tours. That's why I picked to be invited to be a representative here today. So
awesome, man.
It's nice to be here.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you joining us, and congratulations on winning our Member Multiplayer Monday. It's something we'll kick back up in March, and excited to do that again. Again, if you want to be on the rundown, that's how you do it. Just follow Napp's lead here. With that being said, on Member Multiplayer Monday, we're joined by many of our members. So huge shout out to our member community. You'll notice that Napp02 is highlighted there in red for winning our Member Multiplayer Monday, and Crazy won our Action Count competition last tour. Absolutely crushed it. You'll notice some of our mods, but we're just so thankful for the member community. It's been such a blessing, and honestly, these names keep this thing going. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes between myself, Larry, Antalev, as well as Alberto, who's been helping us out. We just really, honestly, we wouldn't do this without all these names here. So thank you so much to the members. If you'd like to take a look at our memberships, feel free to check those out. But before you do anything else, please like and subscribe this video before we get started. And let's jump right into the brand new Exploration Tour 2023. We have two Piranha Plant Cove tracks set. So we have 8 new tracks being introduced. In addition to that, we have 2 new Shy Guys. So first of all, I think in the topic of character diversity, which we're always trying to bring attention to, the Shy Guys are winning the lottery, guys. Right behind Mario and Luigi and Peach, we have the Shy Guys. They seem to have the best ults with the best skills, and it's been a lot of fun using them. So shout out to Shy Guy Karts and all the Shy Guy fans. You guys won. There's no competition here. Let's first jump into Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer. He comes out with a number of different tracks. You'll notice that we put the Piranha Plant Cove tracks in red as Nitro tracks. So it is important to understand that Piranha Plant Cove is a track that was created for Mario Kart Tour. All the other retro tracks were created in previous iterations of Mario Kart, but this is the first time, it's unprecedented, that we have completely different variants of the same track. Other than city tracks, of course. So I think that's one of the unique things about Mario Kart Tour, is that we have different variations, and that's why we have 8 new Piranha Plant Cove tracks. So you'll notice those are kind of highlighted in red. We don't necessarily count them as cities. They're, when it comes to the top 10, they're weighted more than cities. They're actually equal to, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, they're equal to the other retro tracks. And I think that's really important to distinguish. So, we may see these tracks throughout the year. We might just see them right now. We don't necessarily know, but we're going to go work under the assumption that they are similar to Ninja Hideaway. And when it comes to the top 10, that we've actually, because we know that they're coming and we will see them this year, we can't say that about all the tracks. We can't say that necessarily about Neo Bowser City or something like that this year. So we're considering those as just as valuable as the regular retro tracks. So for Sky Blue, again, we're just highlighting them in red just so you can kind of see it though. For Light Blue Shy Guy, he starts out with Riverside Park R, Snowland, Sunset Wilds RT, Cookie Land, which Cookie Land obviously being a battle track, and him having a top skill such as Lucky 7 is really strong there. There's a number of top skills there. Obviously, King Mario technically is the best one on that track, but as we'll get to here later, he may not have sustained the initial thought that he might be ready to surge here in 2023. The Pronapant Cove tracks he gets is the 2RT, the 1RT, the 2T, and the 2R. Those last two are unlocked. So, Larry, Napp, what's your thoughts on Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer?
Yeah, I think the GBA Snowland is a very good track for him because it's a level 8 Larry Wintertime unlock, and otherwise there's just the Santa Me racing suit. Also the Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer, you can use that 3 times this tour in Rank Cup. It overlaps 3 times with Kitsune Luigi, 3 times Yoshi Kangaroo, 3 times Daisy Sailor, and then with the plus skills, 2 times Daisy Tidewest, 2 times Larry Wintertime, and then also 2 times with Daisy Holiday Cheer.
His story is very good. One thing to note is that this Light Blue Explorer Shy Guy is started with 11 top shelf tracks, which is a first for any driver in this game. Usually what we've seen lately in this new phase of the game is that most of the brand new drivers that debut in the Spotlight Shelf, they have like the normal number of starting tracks, like 8, 9, sometimes 10. This one is started with 11 tracks, and this one reminds me of Peach Happy. For those who remember back in the day, Peach Happy, when she debuted with the most amount of tracks at that time, which was 10. That was before level 8. And looking at its track selection, it's similar to hers as well when she started out. A good number of tracks and 4 nitro tracks, and it has 4 nitros, but when you take a look, all of them are Piranha Plant Cove tracks. There are nitro tracks, but you have to realize that when this track eventually comes back, it's going to come back all 4 of these tracks. So for that tour, it's going to become really useful again. And even without taking that into account, you take a look at these retro tracks. It has some really good options. The Riverside Park tracks are not very well covered by top skill drivers yet. There's overlap with Yoshi Kangaroo, of course, but on R especially, he is the only plus skill option. So for this Light Blue Shy Guy to start with this track, it's pretty nice to say. And also another thing is that Riverside Park is a track that is not the most friendly for Coinbox, since it's a track that has many turns. It's a 2-item set track, and it's relatively short as well. So for Lucky 7, it's a pretty nice skill to have there. It has a battle course track, and those are really, really important, especially when you take into account that every 3 tours, the same battle course track is going to be present, and not only 1, but also 2 times. So that's a really good track to start with. And there's always, of course, the big one, that's Snowland track, the normal variant. One of the most difficult top shelf for drivers we have ever seen in a while. No post-skill drivers at all. So it only has that rally waiting time, and it's only a level 8. So this is a really big track to have at historic value. It's a big win for this driver. A really good start for this driver.
Yeah, awesome job, Napp. You've been dropping some knowledge. We don't even need Antilev. I appreciate you going into the details. Yeah, this is exactly 1 full year since our last non-me Lucky 7 driver, which was Charging Chuck. Exactly 1 full calendar year, which is crazy. I really enjoy the Lucky 7 skill. I think there was some discussion on our reveal, our reaction. I think Luca had mentioned, Lucky 7 may be one of the skills that kind of gets dwarfed a little bit with all the me's, and you can only have so many plus skills, and something's gonna kind of die off, and it might be Giant Banana and Lucky 7, but it's one of the fun skills. I mean, I still really enjoy using it, and I think he's you don't necessarily need a large hitbox with Lucky 7, so that's not necessarily a big deal either. I mean, he's just cool looking, man. I mean, I'm glad that they gave the light blue. I don't know, there's something cool about the light blue. The yellow's fine, but I think that the light blue, it's much like, it's a really cool alt. He's got this like little chisel hammer. I don't know. I'm a big fan of his starting coverage. As Napp mentioned, he starts with 11. Much better option than the yellow. Obviously, you got the hammer skill, which very fitting for someone holding this big chisel looking thing. As Napp mentioned, this one only comes with 10, but 3 of those being the Prime Plant Cove. It starts with 2R, RT, and the T. And then it gets some good tracks and some weird tracks. I mean, Rock Mountain, you don't really that's not a good track for him. I mean, everyone's using at least DK, and he's gonna be a really strong option, especially when you're quad capping him. And then you have Meowser, and it's not necessarily the best coin box track, but he's the only coin box driver there, and it's a driver that a lot of people have at a high level. For the rest of it, it's okay. I mean, he's not top skill, so really any of these you're gonna want. I will say that they're pretty thin. Most of these tracks, I mean, except for Sunset Wilds T, all of them have 4 or less top skill drivers. But Larry98 and Napp, what do you think about Yellow Shy Guy Explorer?
Yeah, this one is more on the heavy side of overlaps with plus skill drivers, but for our rank reward, I think it's pretty decent. A fun fact about this Yellow Explorer Shy Guy, he has a triple rank use later on, which we will talk about at the end. But this Shy Guy has a triple rank use, and they're all in week 2, and that basically means that this is useful in all 3 of the rank tracks, which is it's also a first for a rank reward, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good for people who are starting the game right now, that you can get immediately mileage out of this driver if you manage to obtain it from the first track, from the first week. But its starting tracks, they're decent to say at best. I mean, there's some dots there, like the Rock Mountain, like who's going to use this driver over Donkey Kong, for example. And Sunset Wilds T, while it's not a track that's very friendly for Coinbox, it's a track that is very established with many other drivers. There's like Painter Luigi there. There's even the new Astronaut Toad who got buffed there, and there's a bunch of supers as well. Motion Gorgeous, also a track that is fairly coveted, and the Riverside Park T, of course, which is going to be on rank week 2. Start is decent, but it's like nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't mess it up. I'm surprised they didn't have one of its tracks in week 1 ranked, because that's kind of how Nintendo has done it. But yeah, I mean, he's not got plus skill, so there's nothing really too much to analyze too far deep into it. We do have a new Mii suit. We got the brown Mii suit. It does have Cookie Land, which you kind of like. Other than that, though, it's got all these other plus skills overriding with it. I will say Piranha Plant Cove 2, one of the hardest tracks for top shelf. You basically just have PD and PD Mii for this rank track. So if you need to get him and you just need to use somebody, I don't know. I think for multiplayer he could be somebody that like for you, Napp, he might be worth investing in. But I think for the most part you have better options across these. But Larry98, Napp, anything you want to mention about our little brown doo-doo?
Well, yes, basically, you can go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, this driver overlaps 3 times with the new Yellow Shy Guy Explorer, and 3 times with Cat Luigi, 3 times with Daisy Farmer, And then what's worrying is that it's similar like the yellow. It also overlaps 3 times with the gold me racing suit. So if you have the gold me racing suit at a high level, then yeah, and with all the base points, it's
That's scary.
This is basically just recolor me racing suit with a non-plus skill. It's basically just to add those points to the more powerful me racing suits.
Yeah.
It does start with 7 tracks, which is on the bigger side. Most me racing suits these days start with top shelf 6. So this one being 7, I mean, it's a bit generous for them.
It is, and you know, I think that the skill is debatable. I think a lot of people are not gonna level them up, but yeah, I think you have to get them though. It's the me tax that we all have to pay. Let's get into one of the most hyped items though. We had the blue crawly cart. Now I know when we saw the data mining photo of this cart, everyone was going bonkers. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take it to level 8, level 7 right away." And I've seen a lot of people. Such as Draco and Jeeves and a couple people in ER. I've seen a lot of people take this bad boy up to level 7, up to level 8, have definitely gone bonkers. But I will say I think its starting coverage is okay. I think that there's a couple tracks, especially the ranked tracks, where you're like, this one's tough. You know, when we're pulling it up for Piranha Plant Cove, there's so many options between shielded speedster, yellow off-roader, etc. And unfortunately kind of takes a little bit of the wind out of its sails. But there's a couple good tracks like this Piranha Plant Cove RT, where you basically, the only bigger item than it when it comes to the hitbox is this red B-Dasher Mark II. Or the Piranha Plant Cove 2R, where it's the only large cart that you can use. This is a giant hitbox. It's only smaller than some of the, I think it's the off-roaders and the Vampire Flyer and the Combo Cruiser. But other than that, it's right up there. And it's a huge hitbox. You really, I mean, again, the difference between some of those are pretty minimal anyway. So I think if you have to invest in it and you just want to ride it out, this could be a strong investment in the future. Again, you know, so we're kind of nitpicking here at first, but overall, it's a beautiful cart, a giant hitbox. Coverage is okay, but you know, we're never too we don't want to overanalyze the starting coverage at all. Napp, Larry, what's your thoughts on the blue card cart?
Definitely a fan favorite. I mean, a lot of people were hyped about this card ever since it was data mined. And yeah, people have been going crazy about it. One thing to look at is, yeah, the starting coverage is good. The quality of these tracks are okay. Most of them are fairly new. When your oldest tracks are basically those Vanilla Lake 2s, man, those tracks are pretty good. Most of the new ones. The caveat for this card is that, yeah, it has a lot of coverage, a lot of overlap with other cards, especially with the Shielded Speedster. It has 4 overlaps with it, which is pretty big for a starting card. But when you get like a big size card like this one, you just take risks with it and hope it turns out to be good. And that's what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah, Larry?
Yeah, I think if you invest, then you basically just invest because of the size, because it's 96.8% of the off-roader size. So yeah, and then basically that will be like one of the best or one of the best options on all those tracks.
Good point.
And it hopefully is better than the red quali card.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I think it looks cooler too. Let's get into the gliders. We have this wonderful diamond overlap. So we kind of get this trend of birthstones in a glider. You obviously like the Lightning Plus. Starting coverage is not bad. I mean, it's got some unique tracks like Riverside Park RT. You got the Piranha Plant Cove 2R, the RT, and the 2. You even have some of the Snowland. I think overall, you know, you got the Snowland R and the T at the level 6 unlock. The only thing is they got the Rock Mountain, which is not necessarily a great buff. Mushroom Gorge is kind of a toss-up, but yeah, I think it's above average start. I'm a big fan of the aesthetics of these gliders, and of course, you gotta like diamond. I mean, who doesn't like diamonds, right? But Napp, Larry, what's your thoughts on this brand new glider?
I'm gonna agree with you. It absolutely looks beautiful. This glider looks amazing. I'm definitely going to buy it when it comes next week. The start is fine, and the Rock Mountain is pretty bad. In terms of overlap, it's nothing too crazy when you look at it. Its biggest overlap is 3 times with the mint and berry balloons, 2 times with the glitter parasol, and 2 times with the mint, with the chocolate and vanilla balloons. So it doesn't have like that heavy overlap with the meta glider. So it could be a nice option to pick up for some people.
Cool. Yeah, the Piranha Plant Cove 2 is good because it's hard to cover, but the problem for this glider is that it's only accessible when you take it to level 8. And I think it's very risky to directly take a new glider to level 8 if you, especially since you don't know how often the Piranha Plant Cove tracks even returns, if they are like once a year, or if they're like coming every few months. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good to get the coverage, but yeah, you don't know how often it's going to come back, which is a little scary. We'll have to wait and see if you feel like it'll come back because of these different variations. Then go for it. But again, 3 is as many as some of the other items, such as like the brand new Shy Guy Explorer. Good. We also have this gold glider with the coin plus. Obviously, it's been these Gold Pass awards have been a little suspect at best. It's a little tough to have a lot of dependence on it, and unfortunately, it gets a lot of old tracks. It got Rock Mountain T, Calamari Desert RT, got the Mushroom Gorge, which is actually kind of newer comparatively to those. But some Mushroom Gorges, and I will say that the bright spots would be the Piranha Plant Cove 2R and Piranha Plant Cove R. Those are good tracks that you have right off the bat. And then you do have the Snowland RT at level 6, and then the Piranha Plant Cove at level 8. But again, to take it to level 8 just for ranked week 1 might be a little risky. So what's your thoughts on this, Napp and Larry?
It's a ranked reward glider. It's more for collectivity more than use. Despite that, comparing it to other gold gliders that has been debuted in Gold Pass, this one has the better starter compared to them. But even still, compared to the other items on this store, I think this is like the weakest of them all. Like the Rock Mountain, the Calamari Desert, those are really old tracks that you don't need coverage in it. Same for Calamari Desert T. The Piranha Plant Cove tracks could provide some immediate use if you don't have any of those gliders at your disposal. And the GBA Snowland RT is a very good track to have, but it's at level 6, so it doesn't mean much.
Yeah, the problem with that glider is that since we don't know how often the Piranha Plant Cove tracks come back, and if you now look at the ones you get at level 1, Rock Mountain is old, Calamari is old, then you just have Mushroom Gorge, yeah. Otherwise, no track at level 1, you would really use them.
Yeah, no, good point there. And then finally, the last new item. Actually, I apologize. That was the last new item. We might have just had that twice. Let's get into the daily spotlight shop. So I reviewed this a little bit on the tour reaction. I think when it comes to drivers, you got PD Piranha. He's really, really strong. I think, especially if you like boomboxing. I think you have to get him. He's a really, really good one this tour, especially. You got Luigi Knight. Now he's been getting a little buff here, a little buff there. Been really, really strong throughout his initial start. I kind of threw Kamek in there. I don't want to be that jerk who only puts 2 items on there, and then you have the 2 coin box drivers that are very, very rare. But if you see Gold Charging Chuck, you have to get him. Gold Yoshi, Gold something, he's debatable. But I threw him on there. I did skip out on Peach Happy. For whatever reason, she's quite a late bloomer right now, but not enough for me to recommend it to newer players. But she was one of the kind of the first ones out there. You did have Cat Luigi. I don't know, guys. I'm not too excited about Cat Luigi. I know he's broken the top 20, but I'm still not too hyped on him. Moving to Karts, this is where I mentioned I'm the most excited. There's a lot of great Karts on this list. I'm most excited about Karts than anything else here on this list. There's so many good ones. In fact, even I couldn't even include like the regular off-roader or the regular Tanuki kart, even though these are really, really strong meta karts, but there's just so many other great karts. Even like the Jukebox Buggy has a great tour this tour. But you got the Lightning McQueen, the Shielded Speedster, obviously two strong ones the last 4 or 5 months. You got some new Flaming and Pink Speeders on this list. This pink speeder was not available last tour, so if you see it and you like pink things like myself, feel free to check that out. The Moo Off-Roader though is the big one. Everyone was so excited for it to come back, and unfortunately this tour, it's although it's in ranked, it's kind of lost a lot of its oomph that it had initially. It's beautiful, we love off-roaders, and it has such an awesome start. I wonder what its future will hold. This tour, I don't know, man. I personally had to pick between triple uncapping, either Lightning McQueen or the Moo Off-Roader. I decided to go Lightning McQueen, mainly because of the battle track and this week 1 in ranked. It's going to be a high scoring one for myself personally, and that's the direction I went. Both Eagles have the Studfit recommendation. Again, this recommendation just means I'd highly recommend you taking a look at your spreadsheet and seeing if these items make sense for you. This is not just to go out and buy it automatically, but just kind of nudging you in the right direction. Both Eagles really, really strong. Blazy Eagle crushing it right now, doing really, really well. We also have the Streetle, which is it's like a coverage king, but it's so tiny you really have to be able to want to use a tiny hitbox. That paired with Larry Wintertime might be a little struggle bus there. And then last but not least, the Red Off-Roader, which is, again, you know, any off-roader is going to get our attention, but Red Off-Roader still a relatively new item, still has some tracks to see, which we'll get to later. And then last but not least, the Gold Bullet Bill Blaster. So most gold karts have been garbage. However, the Gold Bullet Bill Blaster, this one's been really strong. If you remember, it actually was released during a special pipe. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's been able to break the mold of some of the other gold karts. And then moving into gliders, you got to put the Piranha Plants and the Candlelight Flight in there. Two really strong gliders for different reasons. Candlelight Flight did #1 glider for I think probably 3 or 4 tours this summer. Did really, really well. Piranha Plant Pipes, Piranha Plant Balloons doing really well right now. It's kind of a little deflated right now, but it's been really, really strong. I see it all the time. And if you are leaning on the Giant Banana, still need a strong, good glider to pair with it. You also have the Record Setter, which has been in and out, right? So it had a really hot start. Then Nintendo accidentally gave it an extra level 8 unlock and said, we need to pump the brakes on this bad boy. Had a little bit of a slow period, and it's actually been doing pretty well the last 2 or 3 tours. So had to put it on here. It's in the top 20 again. Sakura Origami Glider. I don't want to steal any thunder, but it's been a really late bloomer, as Napp likes to say. And then I think if you get one glider, though, only one glider on this list, it's got to be the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom. It's absolutely crushing right now. We'll obviously be talking a lot about that today. Icy Mario's Mustache, really sneaky one, came out in the Ice Cream Tour, and then the Silver Luigi's Mustache, very sneaky as well for different reasons. And then the Mario Hat, really strong. And then the Black Star Chute and the Boomax, really, really strong gliders. Both came out in the same tour, so they have a lot of overlap with each other. I went Black Star Chute. I know a lot of other people went Boomasks, and both of them have been winners, so you can't go wrong. But Napp, we'll start with you. What's your thoughts on the daily Spotlight Shop? Anything you would have added or anything you would have taken off this list?
I think the list is fine. I think most people will be asking, like, why would you not add, like, Peach Happy? And Peach Happy, yeah, she's been having, like, a little resurgence as of late, but that's basically it. It's just a resurgence. It's not like she's going to become, like, a great driver like she once was again. It's just, like, having a mini streak that's going to end pretty soon as well. So nothing good to be said about there.
Well, and if you don't mind me adding... Napp, if you don't mind me adding to that, a best case scenario for Peach Happy would be like a Holidaisy type of treatment, where, you know, she was decent to start and then had a late resurgence, but that's best case scenario. You also have a lot of scenarios where she returns to just as pitiful as she was before. Sorry, go ahead.
Definitely.
Keep going.
Yeah, the drivers, they fell a bit short on the selection this time around. not many plus skill drivers. You do have some really good non plus skill ones like Luigi. Toadette Taylor actually is a driver that pretty much not many people talk about. Other than that, really some solid picks there. The Luigi Knight is going off strong as of late. Gold Charging Chuck keeps getting rank appearances and rank buffs. It's good to see him there always. The Karts, it was a lot of things to pick from. I'm sure it was definitely tough to pick just 10 cards to pick out of that big selection. There are so many good cards that had to be left out of that selection, like the White Bruiser, the Coral Jet Cruiser, the Piranha Pipes, the Tanuki card, of course. The gliders, I think you picked I think those are the 10 strongest picks. There's some honorable mentions. There's several Candlelight Flags. Gliders are very underrated. A lot of people have good things to say about. The Wonderful Garnet, which is starting to pick up steam slowly. Don't be surprised if it's slowly popping up here and there in the next couple of tours. And also the Calico Topi Balloons. It's a very sneaky good glider that, although it suffers from overlaps with the top shelf gliders, it's something that all of the gliders happen to have in that situation. But it's a good glider nonetheless. Definitely good.
Good, Larry. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think it's good. You both explained it very well, yeah.
Okay, great. Let's get into the buffs, because these buffs are very unique in that we have 8 new tracks. So a good number of buffs, and I think that we always kind of want to take these nitro tracks in kind of a wait and see approach. We could wait and see some amazing results and see the Piranha Plant Coves come back. I think the fact that it has at least 2 variants, could have 3. I don't know. I think maybe if it comes back again, maybe we get that 3rd variant, and then maybe we don't see the 1st variant or 2nd variant. I don't know what'll come of it, if they'll treat it kind of like a city. But I hope that they will. I think we have a total of 8 of these MOB, these mobile nitro tracks. So we'll see what they come out. I know I was talking about it on Kart Talk with Jeeves, and we placed a bet, and I think Jeeves I think unfortunately the prize is him going shirtless. But I said my bet was 3 nitro tracks this year, such as this one. So we'll see what comes of it. I will say for the drivers with 4 buffs, it's our astronauts. We got Toad and Toadette coming out with these new tracks. I will say Toad Astronaut getting a pretty good one here with Piranha Plant Cove RT and the Piranha Plant Cove 2T. Really, really strong ones there. Toadette, got some older tracks, but you do like that Snowland T. For the drivers with 3 buffs, we got the Roaring Racer Mii-Suit, Pink Toad Pit Crew, and Birdo Orange. You gotta like the 2 supers getting 3 buffs. That's nice. That's refreshing from our perspective, especially with the Birdo Orange getting the rank track for Sunset Wilds R. Now, of course, you're probably covered on that track, but I think anytime your supers are getting 3 tracks makes Nintendo look like they're, switching some stuff up, keeping us on our toes. As for the drivers with 2 buffs, you got to give some love to Luigi Knight as he gets this Piranha Plant Cove 2R, which is a ranked track, and then PD Piranha with the 2, which is a ranked track for him. Both really, really strong with 24 and 28 assumed tracks between the 2 of them. And then PD Piranha Mii-Suit, as you can see here, he is in our top 10. He got 2 ranked tracks, which is insane, and both of those ranked tracks are really hard to cover for drivers. Obviously, I think, in my opinion, Piranha Plant Cove 2 being probably the hardest to cover across the board. Drivers, karts, and gliders. Probably, for me, the most valuable buff this tour. We've got Hammer Bro. You see him. He broke the top 15 thanks to the Piranha Plant Cove 2R. Winter Larry Time. He does have the rank track, which is Riverside Park T. The downside is you already have gold PD Piranha there, and he doesn't get any of the Piranha Plant Cove, which you could see as a plus or a minus. I will say this Koopa Cape are a bad buff for him, unfortunately. There's just a lot of options on that course, including Gold Mii-Suit, which is a meta crusher right now. And then, some other items on here that got 2 buffs, including 2 supers. nothing really to make note of, as I will say the Black Me suit is in rank twice for what it's worth. You do have the Sunset Wilds R, which again, you have, I think, 3 or 4 coin box options on, so you may not worry too much about that. But the Prawn Plank Cove RT, it's not a bad buff for him. I kind of like it. So, Napp, Larry, anything you want to add about the drivers with the most buffs? If you don't, that's fine too. We can breeze through these buffs. In fact, we'll get to drivers with 1 buff. I'll kind of just talk about this top row, maybe this a little bit in the second row. But Gold Charging Chuck gets Prawn Plank Cove 2T. You like that he got a buff, but it's not ranked, unfortunately. You got White Tanuki Mario. I would have loved to see White Tanuki Mario get a lot more of these Prawn Plank Cove tracks, because they're really tight. They would have been a great giant banana track. However, he just gets 1, and it's the 2RT, which is not ranked. Same with Pink Shy Guy Ninja. He does not get a ranked track. He gets the 2T. You got PD Piranha Gold. I would have expected PD Piranha Gold to get more buffs. He only gets 1, unlike his 2 other variants, the Me and the regular, and it's not in ranked. It's just kind of for me, I kind of see this as a big loss for PD Piranha Gold. I would have liked to see him walk away with a couple of these Prawn Plank Coves, and honestly, I'm quite surprised. He isn't ranked, but it's on the Riverside Park T version, which again, you're glad to have that, but and maybe that's why they left him out of here. So unless these are Nitro tracks that only come in once a year, I kind of see this as a loss for PD Piranha Gold. Mario King, this is probably the biggest loser though. Not only does he not get a Prawn Plank Cove track, or a newer track such as any of the variety that he hasn't seen this year, he gets Calamari Desert, one of the oldest tracks in the game. So 15 assumed tracks, 17 cities. So he was picking up there. We were thinking he was gonna. And he even broke our top 10, but right back where he belongs, unfortunately, at number 12. We got Yoshi, Gold Egg, Gold something. He got the Prawn Plank Cove T. Not the best of the 8 variants, but it's a buff nonetheless. 24 assumed tracks, 11 cities there. Rosalina Chef got 2RT. Cat Luigi, again, he's been sneaky. A lot of people like him. I still can't get into the non-top skills, but he is in ranked. He's got the RT. So you do it like that. Daisy Sailor gets the ranked regular for week 1. Goomba gets the RT for week 2. Toadette Sailor has the RT as well. And of course, Luigi Vacation, man. This one you really like, because he's basically the only option for week 1 on Prawn Plank Cove. He is pretty amazing. I will say, for Prawn Plank Cove, the DKR spreadsheet has the action count around 195, and I can honestly say I've gotten some amazing runs, and I still can't break 175. So that's probably where I would put. The cap. And I looked at a lot of my other good friends' scores, such as Carlos and Kareem, and I honestly think that probably 175 is the ceiling there, maybe 180. For what it's worth. I mean, we're talking about boombox, little mini boombox, and a coin, still walking away with like 175. So, and then I think that's really about all I want to talk about. I will say the Santa Me suit, I was hoping for more. It did get the Sunset Wilds regular, which is not in ranked. It was doing really, really well the last couple tours, and him like Larry Wintertime, not winning this tour. So there you go, guys. That's my thoughts on the drivers with 1 buff. Anything you want to add to that, Larry or Napp?
So yeah, the Mario King buff is like really, really terrible. We have the 2 normal drivers. We have the 6 super drivers. We have the Luigi Vacation. We have Kangaroo Yoshi. We have Kamek. We have Meowth at level 3. We have Halloween Mario, and we have at level 3, and we have Party Time Lucky 2 at level 6. So there are so many options and so many plus options. So it would have been better if he would have probably not gotten any buff, because and he still has the problem that he has a lot of city tracks, and he has like 660 tracks left to see, which is not a lot. So let's see how he's going in the future.
Yeah, that King Mario buff is absolutely terrible. I honestly think that it would have been better if he didn't get anything, because getting Calamari doesn't get anything for him. You have so many other options there. Like, it's pretty much a useless buff. But other than that, Pink Ninja getting another track. He is still going strong. Not a top tier driver anymore or anything, but it's been a consistently good driver for such a long time that it's crazy that he's still been getting buff up to this point. A small shout out to Cat Mario, 43 top shelf tracks, the third most that we have right now. Crazy, about to tie Yoshi Kangaroo and DK Jr. for that honor. Big love for Luigi Vacation. It seems that Nintendo is continuing the trends of buffing drivers after they return in the Spotlight. It has happened with Santa Mario, Mario's at Tel Aviv, and now with Luigi Vacation. So it seems that it may be a trend that they will implement with some drivers. A bit surprised that Peach Explorer only picked up one buff, given that she is, one of the main focal points of the tour, and she's featured on the ACR badge.
Yep.
She got only one buff. And also appreciate the love for the year one drivers that don't get any buffs anymore, like Bowser Jr. Parrot and World Cowboy. Forgotten drivers that really nice to see them getting a buff here and there, like Nintendo throwing them a bone occasionally.
Yeah, good point. Let's move to carts. We have one cart with 5 buffs, and that is the Pineapple one. He got the Piranha Plant Cove 2R, which is a ranked track, and then the Piranha Plant Cove 2RT. And it does have the Cookie Land track. We always like to point out the fact, for a small cart, you don't really like small carts very much, except for in battle mode, where having a small cart might actually help you out. So, wanted to point that out. We do have one cart with 3 buffs. Where that is the Orange Turbo Birdo. That's interesting that we have a lot that have 4 buffs and only one that has 3 buffs. But it does have that Sunset Wilds aura, which is, if you are struggling on that, you want to use a super, not a bad option for you. For the cards that do have 4 buffs, one that surged into our top 20 is the Blooper Shuttle. It's now number 17 on our list. It's got 12 assumed tracks, 5 cities. It does have the ranked Piranha Plant Cove Week 2 RT. It's Piranha Plant Cove 1 RT, but it's in Week 2 ranked. And then you have the Piranha Plant Cove 2 RT, which is not ranked. You don't mind the Koopa Cape RT. You don't mind, and actually Riverside Park's a pretty strong one. I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on this one. If you have to invest in it for whatever reason, maybe for ranked, feel free to. I have it at I think level 3, and it's I'm keeping my eye on it for sure. Purple Dozer didn't really necessarily get what you wanted. It got the Rock Mountain. You kind of like some of the tracks, but nothing's in ranked, and none of it's in any of the new tracks. So I think it's kind of a loss there for Purple Dozer. However, it is at number 22 on our list for what it's worth. You also have the Gold Bruiser. Has the Sunset Wilds R for ranked. The Rainbow Taxi has the Piranha Plant Cove 2, which is a ranked track. The Wild Gold on Sunset Wilds R, which again has been added to the the Spotlight shop as one of the new gold items. You have the Gold Lunar Cruiser getting the Sunset Wilds R. The Hot Rod does have the Riverside Park T, which is in ranked, but certainly not any of the Piranha Plant Cove. And then the Gold Quick Shop has the Riverside Park T. So, guys, your thoughts on the cars with the most buffs?
It's interesting to see that these Gold Pass cards are getting like 4 buffs. They're nothing too crazy, but they actually given some use for people who are maybe in need for them in a specific track. So it's good to see that on that part. The Blooper Shuttle, yeah, it's a really big winner. Probably one of the better winners in terms of the cards on this tour. Already a top 20 card, and I believe this is his 3rd tour, so yep. A strong candidate to make it to the top 10 very soon.
And above average, large size hitbox. So I agree with that too. Anything you want to add, Larry?
Yeah, with the Blooper Shuttle, there are not really good cards on the Riverside Park. Besides, if you take the Mumu off-roaded to level 8, then you can use them. Otherwise, you have there maybe the red vampire flyer, but otherwise not really like good cards. Yeah, so that helped a lot, I think.
Good point. And then Napp, if you want to move your head a little bit to your right, just so that they just lined up.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Karts with 2 buffs. Gold Bolt Blaster, we talked about this one's crushing it right now. We got the Primal Plant Cove RT, which is a ranked track, and then the Primal Plant Cove 2T is a nice consolation prize there. Streetle, again, it's been crushing the coverage, 20 total assumed tracks, 8 cities. Number 4 on our list had the Primal Plant Cove 2, the ranked track, and then T is a consolation there. Armored Rider, a strong cart. You're glad you walked away with 2 buffs this tour, but neither one of them are in ranked. Blazing Eagle, same situation with two brand new buffs of the new tracks, but it does have the nice ranked track of Primal Plant Cove 2. In fact, this is the harder, if not the hardest, of the 4 ranked Primal Plant Cove tracks. So really good one there for Blazing Eagle. It's one of the hottest carts right now, despite its all city start. It literally needed everything to line up, and it's gotten it. So really like that. Camo Tanuki carts, the Primal Plant Cove RT, the rank track there, really strong at number 18. It's finally kind of starting to make some ripple effects there. Holiday Speeder, number 26 on our list, has the Riverside Park T. So as we kind of talked about, that one's a little tougher to get a bigger hitbox. So if you got the Holiday Speeder, not the worst option in the world for Riverside Park. Gold Trickster got the Sunset Wilds R. That track is not too hard to cover. Everything else I'll skip over for the carts with 2 buffs. Carts with 1 buff. I think it's part 1. We have the Yellow Off-Roader. This one, guys, I remember talking about this one with the Meta Trifecta carts back in 2020. 2021. We were talking about how great this cart pairs with the Silver King and the Vampire Flyer. One big card and one really good strong coverage, and it literally has been fulfilling all prophecies. This has been now going on 1 full year and a half or so of absolutely crushing it. I don't know what else to say. We were kind of talking about on the reaction, if we ever put together a Hall of Fame, we only included like 1 generation or 1 ballot for now. I think you'd have to put the Black Right Sail, and you'd have to probably put the Yellow Off-Roader as the top glider and the top card, just of pure dominance for such a long time that nothing else even comes close to it. It has been absolutely dominant this year. Even the Shield Speedster, which is shown some flair, can't even compare to the Yellow Off-Roader right now. It got 1 buff. It's already seen all the tracks in the game. Got 1 buff, and it's a ranked track, of course, and it's a nice track there too. I kind of mentioned the Shield Speedster. It is number 2 this tour. Got that same track, so this is like one of the easiest of the 4 ranked Primal Plant Cove tracks. One of the easiest to cover for nice big carts. You do have the Red Off-Roader, got one of the Primal Plant Coves, but it got the 2 RT, which is not a ranked track. Lightning Streamliner got the Primal Plant Cove 2, which is a beautiful ranked track there for it. It is number 8 on a list. Flowery Badwagon, it did get a nice Primal Plant Cove buff, but it is not ranked. So you kind of see it a little bit slip in the top 10. Flaming Speeder, a very sneaky cards at number 12. Got the Primal Plant Cove regular. Pink Speeder got the Sunset Wilds R. Coral Jet Cruiser got the 2R. And then the Piranha Pipes, which again I was kind of surprised it only got 1 buff here. I was expecting more. But it did get a nice, it did get a Primal Plant Cove ranked buff, which you like. But it's that one track that they all got all together and they all overlap, which is kind of sad. And then for the rest of the carts with 1 buff, Magna Broom got Primal Plant Cove 2. White Bruiser got the regular Primal Plant Cove, again the one you're not too worried about. Swift Talon does get the Primal Plant Cove 2. Black Carriage got the RT. Yellow 8-Bit Frame got the RT. Jukebox Buggy, you do like this Primal Plant Cove 2R buff. That's a really good one. Tanuki Kart got the Primal Plant Cove. That one's not as hard to get, as we kind of talked about. Red Crawley Kart got Primal Plant Cove 2. We're kind of just going to skim through. Secure Hop Rod, not a ranked buff. but I always like seeing a nice little buff there. Gold Eagle of the Eagles, not the hottest by any means. There you go, guys. So what are your thoughts between those two sides we're talking about with all the cards getting buffed?
It's nice to see cards like the Armor Rider and the Jukebox Buggy come back to relevance once again after being pretty much dead for the past couple of months. Especially the Armor Rider. It seemed like during the fall and some part of the winter, like the back end of 2022, it seemed like that this card was done, and then it got that clutch Wii Rainbow Road buff, and then after that it's been getting buffed on new rank threats again. So it's coming back into it's good to see coming back into the top 10. Same with the Jukebox Buggy, although it's not a top 10 card anymore. It's been clutch for some people, getting buffed on this brand new track as well, especially after seeing all the tracks right now. Getting buffed on a new track is a good bonus at this point. The Eagles are very, very good. I will say they have bounced back pretty nicely for being items that had like an all city start. They've been getting the great amount of retro tracks, and even though these are assumed tracks, these are not assumed tracks, these are nitro tracks. These are very good for rank coverage. They could be very useful for most people out there. The Tanuki card, it's finally being tainted. It has a nitro track now. After being with zero for pretty much its entire run, so now it has a nitro track, which it's good. I believe it's a rank track, it's good. It's a good bonus, definitely a good bonus.
Yeah, I agree there. Good. All right, guys, let's move into gliders. And Napp, I put a little message in the chat. For gliders, we got 6 gliders with 4 buffs. You got the Lava Rocks. Unfortunately, all 4 of those buffs not in ranked. The yellow hard hat balloon does have the Piranha Plant Cove 2, which is in ranked. Other than that, it does get the Rock Mountain R, which you're not necessarily so happy about, but you like the Riverside Park. Fuzzy Kite. It does have the Piranha Plant Cove RT, which is in ranked. I'm not sure why it's in the black color, and Koopa Cape is red, but that's beside the point. Rainbow Fair Flyer. This no ranked, just one ranked track, which is the Piranha Plant Cove 2R. You like that? Honestly, I'm kind of bullish on this Rainbow Fair Flyer. I think we can see some good things from it. I had my eye on it, and I'm actually pretty excited about how it's starting so far. We'll see how it ends up. Gold Meteors did get the Sunset Wilds R ranked track, and none of the Piranha Plant Coves. Gold Umbrella, it isn't ranked on that Sunset Wilds. It did get the Cove R. For gliders with 3 buffs, you have the wonderful Garnet, did get the Piranha Plant Cove 2, which is a ranked track. The Nabbit Oil Paper Umbrella got the Piranha Plant Cove ranked track. The Gold Cloud Balloons, the Piranha Plant Cove RT track for ranked. And then the Stealth Glider got Riverside Park T. So you notice there's a trend here. A lot of these gliders, they get just one ranked track and that's it. They get 4 or 3, it doesn't matter what it is. They just seem to get one ranked track and that's about it. For the gliders with 2 buffs, the Black Star Shoot, huge winner this tour. It got 2 Cove tracks, the 2RT and the RT. Now the RT is in ranked, the 2RT is not, but you gotta like that. And what's interesting is that the Boom Asks gets doesn't get the RTs, it gets the Piranha Plant Cove and the Piranha Plant Cove R. 2 and R. The 2 is in ranked, which you gotta love that. Silver Candlelight Flight got the Cove RT. Fiber Book got the Cove RT. Autumn Leaves got none of the Coves. It gets the Sunset Wilds R, which is a ranked track. And then the Magnifying Glass got the Piranha Plant Cove regular. Wario Mustache got the Cove RT. Gold Eggshell Glider got the Cove 2 RT. Where's Mustache? None of the ranked tracks. And then the Gold Hat Balloon got the Sunset Wilds R, which again, you're pretty well covered on. Guys, what's your thoughts on the gliders with the most buffs?
Yeah, that's also surprising, like what Napp Napp already told us before that they start to buff older items like the Nabbit oil paper. I don't know, it's now 23 and it's a glider from 2020 from the Wild West tour, and now it's showing up again. Like it's crazy. Yeah, let's see if that is just if it's just this tour and then it will drop again, or if that will be like, I don't know, get more value in the future.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's definitely odd to see a glider like this old to get 3 buffs and 3 nitro was on the new track as well. The lava rocks as well. You expect to see like the newer gliders to pick up 4 buffs, so this lava rocks to pick up 4 buffs as well. Unfortunately, none of them are in rank though, so it's nothing like too crazy. The gold hard hat balloon. Well, yeah, this glider has seen better days, or it hasn't seen any good days at all.
This is not a good tour for it, that's for sure.
People pay like how much, 15-20 bucks for this glider, and it hasn't gotten like any good buffs at all ever since it debuted. So Nintendo better make the people feel much better about investing in this glider, because I've seen a lot of people going in on this glider ever since it came out, and it hasn't been paying dividends at all.
Yeah, I took it to 6,595 and was ready to take it to 7 this tour, and then I saw that it only got 2 tracks, and one was Sunset Wilds R and one was Calamari Desert T. And I said, whoa, what's going on here? So, you know, if they bring another item back as a gold item or some kind of item with a premium plus whatever it is, I don't know. I think people are going to be a little afraid to get it. I think we have seen commemorative items and items that you're actually paying, you know, real life currency for. We've seen them do pretty well, but this one's scary. I don't know why Nintendo's doing this. I'm hoping that they have a late resurgence, and then, like, you know, it does really well the tour that they do with this again. And other than that, I don't know why they're doing it. But let's talk about the gliders with 1 buff. Just for sake of time, we have the Sakura Origami glider. Again, #1 glider in the game. We got 1 buff, and it's the exact buff you want. That's right, it's Piranha Plant Cove 2, one of the hardest tracks to cover. You also have the 8-bit 1-up mushroom, the strongest glider in the game when it comes to how powerful it's been. It's been absolutely crushing this year. Again, one of my highly recommended items to get in the Spotlight shop. Got the Piranha Plant Cove, a great ranked track. It's up to 25 assumed tracks, 10 cities. Again, both of those numbers are less than the Sakura Origami glider. That's one of the reasons why it's only a hair different from them. But they're both really, really strong. The Sakura Origami glider's just been out longer. I think the 8-bit 1-up mushroom still has a lot of great days up ahead of it, which we'll talk a little bit more about. You'll notice that a lot of these, the rich get richer, which is one of the great parts about the algorithm, is that when an item is in the top, like the 8-bit 1-up mushroom, like it was a newer glider. For those who were new to the game, it's been in our top 10 for, like 4 tours now, and it has become useful every single tour. That's why we do the algorithm. So naturally, these top items in the algorithm should be getting a ranked track every tour, because that's why we have the algorithm, is to help from a predictive standpoint, in addition to what we've experienced so far. So Piranha Plant Balloons, no surprise here, got the Piranha Plant Cove regular, which is the ranked track. Icy Mario's Mustache got Cove 2. Wonderful Wings did not get a ranked buff there. That's why one of the reasons why you've seen it kind of fall a little bit lately. It did have Cove T, which is nice, but not in ranked. Record Setter got Cove 2, which is a ranked track. Again, one of the harder ones. So a lot of people I've seen have to pick between the Sakura Origami glider or the Record Setter. The rest of the gliders are pretty obscure since we lost Pipes. Red and Gold Umbrella has been sneaky good. It's number 15 on our list. It's got the Cove regular. Candlelight Flight, a very dominant glider this summer. Has 2R, which is a great track for ranked week 2. You get the Pink Magnifying Glass, got the Cove 2R. Again, you like that track. It's up to 23 assumed tracks, 12 cities, so it's right there on the fringe. It's barely inside the top 20, but it's been above average for sure. Silver Luigi's Mustache. This one is our number 20 glider. It's got the Piranha Plant Cove regular. Origami glider got the regular as well. the kind of skimming through which got the ranked tracks. Perry Panini got the Cove 2 track. This is, again, a tough track to cover. It's number 31 on our list. The 8-Bit Super Mushroom got the Cove 2R, which is a ranked track. It's been a while since we've seen that one in dominance, but there it is. And those are the gliders with 1 buff. Anything you guys want to mention about that, Napp and Larry? Before we get to the top 10?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Larry, do you want to go ahead?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Napp, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna mention the IC Mario's mustache is a pretty, I would say, under the radar glider that not many people are paying attention to, but it's sneaky good. It's been getting some really decent buffs in the past couple of tours, and it's been nice to see that finally it's a part of the top 10. The red and gold umbrella is also, like you mentioned, a sneaky good glider. It started off pretty slow, I would say, but as of late, they started to picking off really good tracks recently. And of course, the 8-Bit Water Mushroom,
man,
the rich keep getting richer. And
nice.
it's an amazing glider. It's just a testimony of how much Nintendo loves this family of gliders. You cannot miss with any 8-Bit glider. Like, they're that good, and they stand alone very high by each one of them.
Yeah, I think you were saying out of, well, I guess we can get to some of this in the top 10, but you were saying if you had all the 8-Bit, one 8-Bit items, right?
So I was taking a look at the coverage optimizer. Shout out to my good friend, Turtle Dude, for the app. When you enforce all 6 of the 8-Bit gliders at level 6, they cover you 121 out of the 264 current retro tracks that we have right now, which is equivalent to roughly 46% of the total retro tracks. 46% with just 6 gliders at level 6. That is amazing, man. It's just the proof of how strong this family of gliders is. It really is. I bet people are really waiting for the next 8-Bit glider to come into the game.
Yeah, man, it's a really good point there. All right, let's get to the top 10. Obviously, Anselev's not here, so we'll jump right into the number 10 driver in the game, Pink Shy Guy Ninja. He does fall 2 spots, but he covers 27 assumed tracks, 15 nitro, with 13 tracks left to see. You're starting to see some tie-dye pairings here. You have Saddle of You, Meowser, and tie-dye, and also tie-dye Chef Mario and Meowser, covering 95 of the 264 tracks. He does overlap 6 times with PD Piranha and 5 times with Charging Chuck. At 9, we have Meowser. Unfortunately, he's fallen quite a bit. He has such a strong year, and he's still such a strong driver, but he didn't walk away with any good buffs this tour, which is, it is what it is. I mean, it's fine. I think at this point in time, he's basically seen everything except for that Bowser's Castle 2 RT, which is ironic. But this tour, I mean, everything, he has to see new tracks for him to be beneficial. In this tour, he just didn't do that. So he did fall 4 spots here, but he's still a great driver to invest in. That's for sure. His pairing covers 97 of the 264 tracks. But again, you're going to see tie-dye all over the place here. Meowser does overlap 7 times with Shy Guy Ninja and Mario Samurai. Covers overlaps 6 times with Kamek and 5 times with Gold Mii-suit. At number 8, PD Piranha Mii-suit. That's right, we have another Mii-suit in the top 10. He jumps 6 spots to number 8, which is a huge jump for a Mii-suit. 17 assumed tracks, 7 nitro, 41 tracks still have to see, which is pretty good. Got some good pairings here with Pink Shy Guy Ninja, Meowser, and tie-dye. He does overlap, though, 6 times with his non-Mii version, and 3 times, which again isn't a lot, with King Bob-omb Gold and Kamek. At number 7, you have White Tanuki Mario, covering 23 assumed tracks, 13 nitro, 42 tracks left to see. Got some good pairings there. It does overlap 6 times with the other Giant Banana driver, which is Chef Rosalina. And so a 4-point jump there to number 7 is awesome for White Tanuki Mario. PD Piranha does go up 1 spot to number 6 at 28 assumed tracks, 10 Nitro, still 41 tracks left to see, which is phenomenal. His pairing covered 97 of the 264 tracks. Does overlap 6 times, as we kind of alluded to earlier, with the PD Piranha Me suit, but then also with Shy Guy Pink Ninja, and then 5 times with PD Piranha Gold and Rosalina Chef. So you were expecting PD Piranha to overlap with his 2 replicas. No surprise there. For Luigi Knight, 24 assumed tracks, 12 Nitro, number 5 on our list, up 1 spot. He overlaps 6 times with Gold Yoshi, Gold something, and 5 times with Mario Samurai. We got question mark block Me Racing suit. He's okay. He's seen some better days, but he got 22 assumed tracks, 8 Nitro, some good pairings there, including with Charging Chuck. Got like that, 91 of the 264 tracks. He does overlap 6 times with Mario Saddle of You and 5 times with PD Piranha. At number 3, unfortunately, I'm sad to say this, Daisy Tidress does drop 2 spots. 27 assumed tracks, 12 Nitro, still 41 tracks left to see. She's still a great driver, guys. Do not relax. She's got 8 Coinbox exclusive tracks, which you absolutely love. But kind of we're hoping to see some Piranha Plant love this tour. Did not get that. It covers 97 of the 264 tracks with PD Piranha, Meowser, and Mario Saddle of You. She does overlap 6 times with Yoshi Kangaroo and 4 times with Mario Samurai. At number 2, Gold Me Racing Suit, still holding down the number 2 spot. 25 assumed tracks, 15 Nitro, 10 tracks left to see. Some good pairings there. He does overlap 6 times with Peach Happy and Gold Yoshi Gold something. 5 times with Meowser and Luigi Vacation. And then our number 1 driver in the game, Gold Charging Chuck, 24 assumed tracks, 11 Nitro, still 51 tracks left to see, which is nice. He does obviously overlap with the non-gold version 6 times, and Meowser a minuscule 3. So that's our top 10, guys. To round out the top 10 into the top 15, we got PD Piranha Gold at 11, King Mario at 12, Yoshi Gold Egg Gold something at 13, Hammer Bro Me Racing Suit at 14, and then Rosalina Chef 15. So guys, if you look here at the raw scores, obviously a tight race between Gold Charging Chuck, Gold Me, and Daisy Tidress, all within 3 points of each other. Really tight race there. Big drop though, massive drop though, between 3 and 4. Basically almost a 10-point drop there. And then you have, everything pretty tight from there going forward. So, Larry, we'll start with you. What's your thoughts on the top 10? I think some people are going to be asking about Daisy Tidress, why she dropped, why Meowser dropped, even why PD Piranha Gold dropped, even though he's in rank. So, tell us a little bit about what you're looking at from the data perspective.
So yeah, first, again, the disclaimer, I did the top 10 too because Antilef is on vacation. So, and it's always hard, like if people would do my sheet, that would also be complicated. So yeah, it's, so there, it might be like in the Bowser tour that some things are slightly off, hopefully not that much off, yeah. So first looking at Charging Chuck, one ranked usage and 1 buff, so I think that's why he moved 1 up. Gold Me Racing Suit didn't got any buff this tour and is also not in the rank up, but his score was already very good. So Daisy Tidress, she dropped because she doesn't have a new track, but she is still used 1 time in rank up. The Question Block Me Racing Suit had previously a Coinbox exclusive on Koopa Cape Reverse, but Larry now also got that track, so he lost the Coinbox exclusives on that track. Not used the rank up and also not new buffs. And then about the PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, 6 spots up, mainly because of the Piranha Plant Cove 2 track, which is very hard to cover. And it got two tracks and it's also 2 times in ranked, so I think that's why it moved up. And PT Piranha Gold moved down, I think, because it also had a Coinbox exclusive track, but that was also going, it's not longer there because Larry also got it Larry Wintertime.
Good. Napp, what would you like to add to the top 10 here?
Well, not that well. I will say big changes throughout the middle of the top 10. It's sad to see Meowser dropping off so much, but it's clear that his better days have been behind him pretty much. He's not getting no more buffs. He's rarely appearing in ranked again. He's still a very, very good driver, but it's just like he's not the dominant force that he used to be. I wonder what they're doing with P Piranha Gold. Clearly the P's were like the big winners of this tour, but PD Piranha Gold was like the big outlier. Did not get any new rank buffs. He lost an exclusive, and pretty much the appearance that he got, the has is a track that I already have. King Mario, self-explanatory. He just did not get anything significant this tour. Other than that, I think it's pretty much well covered by Larry already.
Yeah, you know, at this tour, we don't have a lot of Coinbox options for ranked. We have a lot of boomerang options. You could probably boomerang every track if you wanted to. It just seems like it's a really heavy boomerang ranked week for what it's worth. And I don't know why PD Piranha Gold. Maybe they wanted to feature that specifically. You know, give PD Piranha Me Suit some love. So maybe we'll see what happens next tour. Hopefully it gets better for him. Let's move into Karts. We got the Blazing Eagle. You'll notice that his track list of assumed tracks is very, very light. He's just got 11 here. 16 Nitro because he started on a city track or a city tour, but he still has a whopping 107 tracks left to see. He just happens to be in ranked every single tour. He's been absolutely crazy from that respect. He overlaps only 3 times with the Gold Bullet Blaster and the Red Off-Roader. For number 9, we have the Armored Rider. Jumped up a number of spots there to the number 9 on our list. 24 assumed tracks, 7 Nitro. He's seen just about every track though. He's only got 13 left to see. Some of the pairings actually include the little minibus there, along with the Yellow Off-Roader and Gold Pumpkin Cart. Overlaps 7 times with the Tractor and 5 times with the Gold Yoshi, Turbo Yoshi. And number 8, the Lightning Streamliner jumps back into the top 10. 21 assumed tracks, 11 Nitro, still 41 tracks left to see. Gotta like that. Overlaps though 7 times with the Red Off-Roader and 5 times with this Gold Bullet Blaster. Number 7 on our list, unfortunately, the Flowery Bandwagon. It seems like all the things we just talked about got a big buff. However, the Flowery Bandwagon did not get the buff that it needed for ranked. 21 assumed tracks though, 10 Nitro, still 41 tracks left to see. Still a really strong cart there. One that would pair really well with some of the items I have in my account. Does overlap 6 times with the Tuk Tuk, 5 times with the Coconut One, White Bruiser, and the Chocolate and Banana minibus. We have the Red Off-Roader at number 6, up 1 spot. 20 assumed tracks, 9 Nitro, 51 tracks left to see. If you see there that DK Mountain R, it's by far its best track with no other large carts on it. That's really awesome for it. Does overlap 7 times though with the Lightning McQueen, 6 times with the Blazing Speeder, and 5 times with this Gold Bullet Blaster. You see a lot of overlap with Gold Bullet Blaster in some of these top 10 items. And then finally you got number 5. It did fall down 2 spots. That's the Moo Moo Off-Roader. Didn't get any of the Cove buffs there. 19 assumed tracks, 4 Nitro. Still has a lot of tracks to see, 107 in total. Does overlap 6 times with the Pink Sneaker and 5 times with the Black Yoshi, Turbo Yoshi. The Streetle did go up 1 spot thanks to its nice little buffs. 20 assumed tracks, 8 Nitro. Still 92 tracks left to see. Overlaps with the Gold Trickster 6 times and 5 times with the Strawberry Soft Swerve. Gold Bullet Blaster up 1 spot to number 3, 22 assumed tracks, 10 Nitro. Does overlap 6 times with the classic B-Dasher Mark II and the Blazing Speeder, 5 times with the Red Off-Roader and the Lightning McQueen. But still, you know, again, up 1 spot. It's really strong if you don't mind the smaller hitbox. Then we got the 2 that are holding out their spots. Shield Speedster at 2 and the Yellow Off-Roader at 1. Shield Speedster with 23 assumed tracks, 9 Nitro, Again, you're using it on that ranked track, and that's why it was able to hold down tight at that number 2 spot. Does overlap 6 times with the red off-roader, 5 times with the Piranha pipes, and the green-yellow capsule cart. Then you got this yellow off-roader, the best cart in the game, almost of all time, maybe? 31 assumed tracks, 5 nitro, does overlap 7 times with the Tanuki cart and the Choco Macaroon, 6 times with the Combo Cruiser, Purple Bunny, Cact X, and the brown off-roader. So that's our top 10. To round out the top 15, Ice Cream Mini Boss at 11, Flaming Speeder at 12, Strawberry Soft Swerver at 13, Tropical Truck at 14, and Pink Speeder at 15. So if you look at the raw score, really tight race between number 1 and number 2, within 3 raw points of each other. Then a huge drop, about 6-point drop between number 2 and number 3 at the Gold Bullet Blaster. And that's a pretty tight race. You know, I'd say they're all within a couple points of each other. But again, number 1 and number 2 are the 2 strongest by far. We'll start with you, Larry. What's your thoughts on the top 10 and what you know from the data perspective?
So yeah, the yellow off-roader, I think we don't really have to talk about it. It's an insane card. We already talked a lot about it, and it's also, Nintendo knows that. That's why you can buy it in both weeks in the Spotlight shop and not just in 1 week. And I mean, that has 0 tracks left to see and got a rank buff and 1 new track. Yeah. Then the Shielded Speedster got Piranha Plant Cove, which is also a good track, yeah, and is also in rank, so it stayed. The Gold Bullet Blaster, for Gold Bullet Blaster, the Piranha Plant Cove 2T is like a good win. We also see that that's why Armored Rider jumped a lot. If you look at Armored Rider, like if you look at both tracks, Piranha Plant Cove 2T and Piranha Plant Cove Reverse, there are not really any card I would say is good in the game, or the Blazing Eagle and the Gold Bullet Blaster, but otherwise there are not really cards a lot of people invested or meta. And Momo Off-Roader, we also talked already about that it didn't got buff, and yeah, like that's why it's falling so much down, yeah. But we hopefully it will be getting more value in the future again.
Good. What would you like to add, Napp? And if you can, just center yourself in the video so that you're a little bit more on to your right, on the left on the screen.
Well, a bit of a disclaimer with the Momo Off-Roader. Do not, for those people who watch it at home, do not be like worried or like discouraged that this card is having a bit of a struggle right now just because it went buffless. And last store, even though it picked up buffs, it wasn't featuring ranked. Like, this is something that happens to pretty much every single item in this game. Every single item has its good tours and its bad tours, and yeah, it's struggling right now, but we just have to be hopeful that it's going to bounce back in the future. So just like Larry said, it's probably going to bounce back in the next tour, so just sit tight, and probably it's going to have a nice bounce back tour next time.
Yeah, I agree. Don't overreact. Just know that this wasn't its best tour, which is, it's had a lot of great tours. So don't fret at all, for sure. Let's move into gliders just based on time. So we got the Wonderful Wings at number 10. It's up 2 spots back into the top 10. It's got 29 assumed tracks, 14 nitro. It had such a dominant performance the later half of the year. So it's no surprise, up 2 spots. Has 7 tracks left to see. But again, we're talking about a total of a whopping 44 tracks, which is a lot. So really strong there. It's got 8 overlaps with the Aurora balloons and the record setter. At number 9, we have the Lava Rocks, jumping up 13 spots to number 9. 22 tracks and then 10 nitro. With 51 tracks left to see, you gotta like that. Some good pairings there as well. Does overlap 6 times with the Boom Masks and the Black Starshoot. 5 times with the Golden Wings. We have, at number 8, unfortunately the Vanilla and Chocolate Balloons have fallen 4 spots. It's now at number 8. 25 assumed tracks, 12 nitros, still 42 tracks to see, which is really good there. Pairs really well with some of these meta gliders here, covering 97 of the 264 tracks. Does overlap 7 times with this Tropical Balloons, one of my favorite gliders in the game. 6 times with the green cat parafoil, and then 5 times with the pink magnifying glass. At number 7, Boo Masks. Been crushing it lately. 21 assumed tracks, 10 nitro. You're thinking to yourself, that's only 31 tracks. That's not a lot, but it's been getting all the right buffs. It does overlap, as we kind of mentioned before, 8 times with the Black Star Chute, 6 times with the Lava Rocks, and 5 times with the Mario Hat Balloons. Icy Mario's Mustache. It's been icy cool here lately. 21 assumed tracks, 15 nitro, still 42 tracks left to see. Does overlap 7 times with the Record Setter, 5 times with the Polka Dot Manta Glider. And number 5, Prawn Plant Balloons. 26 assumed tracks, 9 nitro. That's a lot of tracks in such a short period of time. 41 tracks still left to see. Again, anytime you're getting 40 tracks, I'm sorry, not 40 tracks. 35 tracks. That's phenomenal there. Good. Then it does overlap though. The downside, big downside here, overlaps 7 times with the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, which we've already talked about a lot here on the episode. 6 times with the Candlelight Flight. At number 4, we have the Black Star Chute. Between its twin with the Boo Mask, it's slightly ahead. It did jump up a whopping 6 spots to number 4. 22 assumed tracks, 9 nitro, 51 tracks left to see. As we talked about, 8 overlaps with the Boo Masks, and 6 times with the Candlelight Flight. For number 3, we have the Minted Berry Balloons. It did fall, but just only slightly. The better of the 2 ice cream balloons. 24 assumed tracks, 13 nitro. Does overlap 6 times with the Mario Hat Balloons and the Flying Flappers. 5 times with the green cat parafoil and the Tropical Balloons. Then we got the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom. Can't say enough about this glider. It's phenomenal. And guys, it still has 41 tracks left to see. Still young in its what seems to be glorious career here. Does overlap 7 times with the Prawn Plant Balloons and the Mario's Hat Balloons. And then the number 1 glider in the game. This glider came out nearly a year ago, and it didn't look that great to start, but it's really been quite a late bloomer. Really, really strong. You're looking at that right there. 40 total tracks. That's phenomenal. 13 tracks left to see. Not a lot, but it does overlap 7 times with the Candlelight Flight, 5 times with the Black Star Chute and the Dream Glider. Some of these gliders are meta gliders, so just be aware. If you do not invest in any of these 3, by all means, look at the Secure Origami Glider, invest in. If you have all 3, worth looking at your spreadsheet and seeing if one of its 40, looking at all 40 of its tracks, which is so many tracks, and just seeing if how the overlap looks. To round out the top 15, we have the Silver Candlelight Flight at 11, Green Cat Parafoil at 12, Wonderful Garnet at 13, Record Setter at 14, and Red and Gold Umbrella. Larry, tell us a little bit about the data. Tell us a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes with these gliders.
So yeah, I want to look at the 2 gliders, the Black Star Chute, 6 places up. That's because both tracks, if you look at them, they are very difficult to cover. They not really have the Piranha Plant Cove 2 RT and the Piranha Plant Cove RT. Like, both are really extremely difficult to cover. I think my gliders are the level 1 and maybe there's one at level 3. I'm not sure. And I'm a whale in the game, so yeah. And then the Lava Box, the same thing. Also two tracks it got this 2, Piranha Plant Cove 2T and Piranha Plant Cove Reverse. And also both are again very difficult to cover, so that's why they jump extremely high. That's true.
Good. Nappy, you want to add anything about these gliders?
Yeah, big changes here as well. Black Star Chute, it's nice to see that it's becoming really, really good right now. It does have big, heavy overlap with the Boo Max, but they're both really good gliders, as you mentioned. Really good options to have, and the buffs that I got this store are pretty nice. Really hard tracks to cover, as Larry said. I want to see the Silver Candlelight Flight, a very sneaky good glider as well. I see it being at number 11. I think it's definitely going to break the top 10 really soon, probably even next door as well. So be on the lookout for that one. It's nice to see the Wonderful Wings also bouncing back.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that it got yet another buff. Great bonus to have right now.
Yeah, I think Wonderful Wings might be a second ballot Hall of Famer if you look at how strong it's been here lately. Yeah, great points there. Appreciate that, Napp. Looking at the total movers and shakers, we have a number of drivers that jumped. I'd say that Astra Todd is crushing it. He went from 76 all the way to 43 in basically his really his third tour. Went a whopping 33 spots, so that's huge for him. The Roaring Racer Me racing suit did jump 29 spots, but it was above 100. It went from 167 to 138, so nothing too crazy there. Bronze Me racing suit, he's had a rough go at it. This has been a rough last 6 or 7 months since he was released, but this tour was a good tour for him. He went up, looks like 19 spots to number 29, so I wonder if this is a little late bloomer. We'll see what happens to him. Luigi Vacation, of course, he absolutely crushed this Cove track. He went up 18 spots to 34. Still, I don't think he'll break the top 20 anytime soon, but this was a great tour for him. This was a huge win for him to get that track. The Donkey Kong Me racing suit went up 17 spots to 46. And then really a lot of other Me suits. You even have Peach Explorer go up a little bit. For Karts, you got the Pineapple 1. Went up a whopping 74 spots. I can't remember the last time we've seen something go up 74 spots. That's absolutely insane. Now the downside is it started at 212. So certainly it didn't even cut its lead in half. So we'll see what its future holds. I'd say the one cart to keep your eye on this tour. Again, we're trying to be a little predictive here. That's the way the algorithm is built. The Blooper Shuttle. This is one I would keep your eyes on if you need to invest in it. I believe it was a commemorative item, which seemed to have more value than other items. And it jumped up a whopping 49 spots to 17. That's right, it jumped up 49 spots to number 17 on our list on its third tour. So guys, this is one, if you have to invest in it, you want to be a little risky. Man, I think there's no other card in the game that's jumped up this much into that high level so quickly, except for maybe the Shielded Speedster and the Moo Moo Off-Roader. So who knows what we have on our hands with this Blooper Shuttle. I don't want to give it too much credit right away, but again, that's a great group to be a part of. The Hot Pot Hot Rod did go up 46 spots to 161. Kind of skipped through some of these. The Rainbow Taxi went up 31 spots to 64. The Red Crawley Cart went up 28 spots to 44. And then moving to gliders. Nabbit Oil Paper Umbrella, to Larry's point earlier. An old glider, but was in the top 15 for a long period of time. It jumped up 27 spots to 23. Basically cut its lead in half. That is huge. The Rainbow Fair Flyer. I like this glider a lot. This is maybe one to keep an eye on, but still number 66, but it jumped up 24 spots. It's still new though. Still new. We'll see what happens. Yellow Hard Hat Balloon seems to be the better of the two hard hats, to be honest with you. Up 21 spots to 38. Still too soon to tell. And then Flyberry Book did go up 18 spots. I'm sorry, 18 spots to 22. That's nice there. And then the Flyberry Magnifying Glass went 15 spots to 48. So, Napp, what do you think about the top movers and shakers? Anything you want to point out here?
Wow, lots of movement. Really big numbers right here. Especially since on the card side, the Pineapple one, 74 is really a really big number. And yeah, be on the lookout for that Blooper Shuttle. It's shaping to be a really solid card. It's true that the Yellow Hard Hat Balloon is right now the better of the two, but that could change at any moment. So be on the lookout for that one as well. Toad Astronaut, doing some big jumps right now. 43 on his third tour is really amazing. I won't be surprised if he's on the top 20 or top 15 2 tours from now. He's moving up leaps and bounds a lot.
Good points there. Larry, what do you want to add about the top movers and shakers from your data guru perspective?
Nothing really.
All right.
I just hope it's correct.
You just hope it's correct. I know you're crossing your fingers there. We'll see if Antelev when he double checks your work, but I feel confident about Larry. I feel good about it. All right, bud. Let's talk about the rank tracks. So for Piranha Plant Cove and Piranha Plant Cove 2, there's not a lot of options. Essentially, you could go with the gold Candlelight Flight at level 8 for the Piranha Plant Cove, or the wonderful Diamond level 8 for Piranha Plant Cove 2. However, Sunset Wilds are a completely different story. You have so many unlocks. I'd say for drivers, you got the light blue Shy Guy Explorer, which you can't even use yet. It's got the level 3 unlock, but you got Luigi Vacation. Luigi Vacation might be the one that you have a real logistical option for in week 1. I've seen a lot of people mostly use Coinbox, but you can certainly use a try and aim for the Boombox. It's a great Coinbox track though. It's easily 200 actions with the right run, whereas with Boombox, it's a long track. It's very windy. A lot can go wrong after you get your Boombox. For Karts, I'd say some of the ones that you might have at level 3 might be Tropical Truck. That's a good option there for you. I'd say the Flaming Speeder at level 6 is certainly fair. Jukebox Buggy. This is one that you might have at like level 4 that you might want to know at level 6. It does get this track really strong there. And then Cactex. If you've been pulling it out of free gold pipes and you have it at level 6, you may not know that at level 8 you get that track. It's an option for you. I wouldn't necessarily recommend Cactex as being one to invest in. And then for gliders, yeah, I don't really think a lot of these are options. I will say the Sunset Balloons is a fair option for you if you want to take it to level 6. Then for week 2, not a lot of options there, but this is going to be a tricky one. You got Piranha Plant Cove 2R, the light blue Shy Guy Explorer at level 6 unlock, the blue Crawly Kart at level 8 unlock. So if you're willing to take it all the way up to 8, which I've seen a lot of people do, that'll really help you out on this track. Again, you know, there's a lot at stake with the high-end driver at stake for a ranked reward. Again, not the best skill for that, the one with the hammer skill, but I think overall you still want to win. You got the Riverside Park T, got the Brown Me Racing Suit and the wonderful Garnet, and then the Piranha Plant Cove RT. You got the yellow Shy Guy Explorer level 6. So again, we talked about this. A lot of Shy Guy Explorer unlocks there. Larry, Napp, anything you want to add about ranked in general?
Yeah, don't be worried on Piranha Plant Cove 2 Weavers because it's in the Shy Guy Cup, and Shy Guy got it as a middle shelf track. So since it's then it gets the cup boost, so you can use the normal Shy Guy also on that track.
Good call out there. Napp, anything you want to add?
Which is very surprising because I don't remember when I really used or seen like a normal driver getting getting boosted on a new track. Yeah,
2 point.
As a cup boost.
Napp, anything you want to add?
No, I'm good on this one.
All right, let's get into the multiple use. So for this perspective, you have a couple different options. I would say this light blue Shy Guy Explorer, we talked about it, you can use them 3 times, which you really gotta like. But I think the biggest winner when it comes to multiple use has to be the PD Piranha Me Suit. This one is an absolute ranked killer this tour. You can use them on 2 of the hardest tracks for Piranha Plant Cove. And then Luigi Vacation, a strong one too if you have them at level 6. Certainly a nice use there. I would just say that that second one is the Sunset Wilds R, which, you know, I don't think you necessarily have any trouble with. So, but the Piranha Plant Cove, he is a crusher there, absolutely monster. For the carts, you have the blue Crawly Kart. You can use 3 times if you're willing to take it to level 8. Blue Speeder and red Crawly Kart, Sunset Wilds. All those are pretty decent. You can use 2 times, but I think Yellow Off-Roader use 2 times is massive. Man, this Yellow Off-Roader. I don't know if you have enough rubies and you do not own the Yellow Off-Roader. Stop what you're doing right now and get it in your shop. Just get it. You can thank me later. You will be so thankful you did. It's not. Don't worry about it having seen its prime. It is in its prime right now, and who knows? Maybe for the next year. It's absolutely insane. The Jukebox Buggy is still really good too. With that level 6 unlock, you can use that twice as well. For gliders, guys, you can use the wonderful Diamond 3 times if you're willing to take it to level 8. But this 8-bit 1-up mushroom, crushing it right now. It is surging so strong right now. Please, if you can, get it in your shop and you don't have it, this is one that I definitely highly recommend you take a look to see if it makes sense for your account. And then pair of Panini, red and gold umbrella, gold candlelight flight, and wonderful garnet, all used 2 times. Last but not least, all cup ranking MVPs. Of course, we got Napp's brand new favorite driver, light blue Shy Guy Explorer, used a whopping 12 times. So I think since we didn't see, the pipe boosts back in the day, rarely have we seen such a dominant driver. The thing is, you got to wait till week 2 to get him and take him up all those levels. But he is a great MVP. If you want to go for top 10, top 100, top 1,000, light blue Shy Guy Explorer might be your guy, especially if you missed Lucky 7 over the last year since charging Chuck. Other than that, kind of skip down here. Silver Me Racing Suit used 9 times. PD Piranha used 8 times. Gold Me Racing Suit used 8 times, just with his tracks that he comes with. Charging Chuck Gold 7 times, and Larry Wintertime used 7 times there. For Karts, Blue Crawley Kart used 10 times. It's a lot of times there. Other than that, Prom Pipes used 8 times. Warrior Wagon used 8 times. Off-Roader used 7. Tropical Truck used 7. Moo Off-Roader 7. Sakura Hop Rod 7. And then, of course, everyone's favorite kart, Yellow Off-Roader used 7 times too. For gliders, you got the Gold Candlelight Flight and the Wonderful Diamond used a whopping 10 times, but you got a lot of unlocks. You got to be willing to invest in it quite a lot. I will say, if you have to invest in something, you could go into this Mario Hat Balloon, which you can use 9 times. That one's been pretty strong in our top 10. The Sakura Origami Glider, it seems like out of all 3 of these origami gliders that you can use 8 times, it's the one with the safest investment here. Tropical Balloons, you can use 7 times. 8-Bit 1-Up Mushroom 7 times. Those would be really strong usage there. Fire Mantis 7 times. And then Prom Plant Balloons used 7 times as well. Wicked Topaz used to be in our top 10. And Wonderful Wings, of course. Everyone loves the Wonderful Wings, used 7 times here. Guys, anything you want to mention about the All Cup ranking MVPs?
Not really.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, then, in that case, we have reached 1 hour and 36 minutes here with 2 of my good friends. Thank you, Larry98, for stepping in for Antilov. Antilov has some big shoes to fill, and I thought you did a phenomenal job. Thank you very much for joining us. What would you like to say to your fans as we part ways?
So yeah, thanks again for the opportunity to be in the rundown again. And I really hope that the top 10 was good and not too much off. Yeah, and if you have any feedback around the slides I do or the sheets I do, then it would be good to write it in the comments. Like we had the discussion, like I think last tour or 2 tours ago, where the years were not really good shown on the buff slides. So then I fixed that. And for my sheet, I plan in the future to update to version 2.0. I'm currently redoing the whole sheet basically, so that it's more optimized for mobile devices, and that the sheet loads faster, and that it's also easier for me to update the sheet. Thanks again for having me, and
Yeah, and so one of the things Antilov and I want to do as the year goes on is to be show a little of the decision tree of how the algorithm is able to parse everything out, and so to be able to jump in and try to replicate that. Larry's done it before, and he did it again here, and I feel pretty confident about it. But we'll see what comes of it. Ultimately, I think, regardless of what happens, if something's off 1 or 2 places, it's not the end of the world. But the goal is to kind of give you a pretty good understanding of where to invest your tickets, what's the safest investment versus something a little bit more risque. But hopefully that helps you out. And then Napp, thank you for joining us. I absolutely loved being in the Dominican Republic. Thank you again for letting me visit there. What would you like to say to your fans before we wrap up?
Well, I'm not sure if I have any fans, but for the people watching at home, make sure to play this tour as much as you want or like. This tour is great. One of the best ones that we had in a long time. the best story in year 4 by far right now. And don't bring your phones playing in rank mode just because the badge spots are back. Just grind them manually and make sure of having your best rounds out there. And thanks again for having me. Huge honor for being part of the big episode of the rundown, and of course being part of this episode with both Larry98 and you as well, Studfit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So if I make any recommendations, it would be 1, make sure to get the yellow off-roader in your shop. That's a really, really important key. Maybe even the 8-bit 1-up mushroom. That's going to be a strong asset for you as well. And then 2, make sure to use, take a look at some speech commands and some, if you're using Android and stuff, the auto clickers, because getting rid of the tokens out of your token shop will open up much more actions for your Coinbox drivers, like especially for Sunset Wild. So highly recommend checking out the video that talks a little bit about how to get rid of those tokens as quickly as possible using auto clickers and speech commands and shortcuts. So those would be my recommendations this tour. Thank you guys for watching this hour and 40 minutes. We wish you the absolute best this tour, and we'll see you on Kart Talk next week. Thanks guys for joining. See you guys.
Bye.